Beard.
This is Fans Talk Wrestling. It's a weekly conversation where fans talk the wrestling world in all of its laughable glory. This is episode 262, and this week we take a step back from the usual recap and review format and put together some predictions. The question is, who will hold every WWE, TNA, NXT, and Lucha Underground title at the end of the summer? My name is Garvin, and with us tonight is Joe. Say hello, Joe.
Hello, Joe.
And Nick.
No pants. Let's do this.
Okay.
Oh, fuck, my boss called.
Okay.
He locked himself out of the office. I gotta go. Just kidding.
Fans Talk Wrestling is a podcast series that is brought to you exclusively by the paid members of the FTW community. Before we begin, we received absolutely no feedback and about doing another call-in show. So we're going to try it again by telling you to go to fanstalkwrestling.com/vote and let us know, should we do another call-in show, and when are you normally available to take part? Last week, we didn't really give you guys a directive, but we figured, it's probably a good idea to tell you how to contact us, where to contact us. So fanstalkwrestling.com/vote. There's 2 questions there. Do you want more call-in shows? And if so, when are you available? Also, I want to thank you for commenting on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter this week. We got some great comments from DJ Clean Styles, WWE and TNA fans, who both continued the conversation. It was great reading and responding to you guys. So definitely thank you for doing so. Shout outs to @KingOfWrestling1, who made it very clear that we need to talk about Raw tonight in some capacity. We're going to do our best, but no promises. That's because this week, again, we're going to skip a majority of the normal discussion and just talk predictions. We've been looking for a way to bring back FTW Draft. That's how this conversation all got started. But realistically, the previous way was just awful for us to take care of. It was just a complicated system that in the end, no one was completely happy with. So we're going to just do one show where we predict who will hold every single title in WWE, TNA, NXT, and Lucha Underground. So, on FTW282, which is, just about 20 shows away, it's going to be recorded.
20 It is 20 shows away.
It's 20 shows away. It's going to be recorded on September 1st, 2015. So, we're going to be taking a look at these predictions, see who was right, who was wrong, and if we're okay with the current landscape. So just to give some context, that goes from today through WWE SummerSlam, which takes place on Sunday, August 23rd. And we'll be previewing SummerSlam, of course, on FTW 280. So let's start off with WWE. Start off with the Divas Championship. We're going to go in order. So Joe, Nick, then myself. We'll also take a look at what you guys say in the live chat. You can take part in all of our live chats, ftwlive.com, and we record on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. So Divas Championship, the current champion is Nikki Bella. So Joe,
Yes.
Who do you see being champion at the end of SummerSlam? So September 1st.
I'm actually going to go with Charlotte. I think they're going to call up Charlotte very soon. Partially because the loss of AJ Lee is terrible. For those who aren't aware, you should be, so shame on you. But if you aren't aware that AJ Lee has retired from in-ring action, it leaves quite a spot to be filled. While they're stepping it up with, Naomi, moving into a more prominent role in the Divas division, I think they're going to pull up Charlotte. And she's going to end up winning the title by SummerSlam. I think she's going to make an appearance soon, and then SummerSlam will be her time.
I definitely do like that idea. I think there was a major rush that people wanted to see more NXT people be brought up. Charlotte is a name that we've all been discussing. But having so many people debut right at WrestleMania or after WrestleMania would have just been kind of hectic. So I definitely do like the idea of Charlotte. What about you, Nick?
I wouldn't mind Charlotte at all, but I think it'll be Paige holding the belt. I don't think Naomi's going to present a serious obstacle for Paige. I think Naomi will definitely be more prominent, and I imagine she'll be challenging for it. But I imagine Paige is going to have a somewhat lengthy reign. I'm not sure when she's going to take it, but I imagine she's going to take it from Nikki pretty soon.
Well, I think you guys are overlooking, just the current way things have been going, especially this week on Raw with Naomi, the heel turn, the wonderful, wonderful backstage interview that she did with Brian Saxton this week. I think overall,
Byron Saxton.
What did I say?
Brian.
Byron is such a dumb name. It should be Brian. Anyways, Naomi, I think really could become champion. We do know that I think Paige is taking some time off to do some WWE film project thing with The Miz. So most likely this is going to be Naomi's opportunity as far as Extreme Rules and right now. So I foresee Naomi being put in that spot, winning the title, and that's my prediction. I see her holding the title at the end of SummerSlam. So let's go into the live chat. We've got some votes for Paige, votes for Naomi, and that was it. It's either Paige or Naomi in the live chat. Tag team championships. Right now, Cesaro and Kid are your tag team champions. Joe, who are you predicting on September 1st will be your champions?
I am predicting that it's going to be the Primetime Players. I like the fact that they're building some steam with their almost 80s, early 90s video packages where they're just standing there talking, taunting their opponents. I think it's going to add a little bit of spark to the tag team division, and I think that given some time, let some other teams develop, but these guys are going to get under the skin of all the tag teams and end up taking the titles, and we'll have them after SummerSlam.
I might be more in line with that if that wasn't all they were doing, but that really is all they're doing is the backstage promos. So I don't know. I just don't have any confidence that they're being given a serious push here.
So that's why I think it's going to be later on. It's not anytime soon. It's later on. That's why they're not in the ring right now. So
yeah, and keep in mind this conversation is about September 1st. Who's going to hold the titles on September 1st? That's quite a few months away. So
right, just given history, they don't really like the Primetime Players. So as far as who the WWE does seem to like, I think the Lucha Dragons will be holding the belts by the end of SummerSlam. It's 4 months is enough time for them to establish themselves on the main roster, especially since Sin Cara is an established presence already, and get at least one feud out of the way, maybe with the Ascension, maybe with somebody else. And then I think they're going to push them to the moon because, I mean, it's basically all but official that they want somebody to replace Rey Mysterio, and Kalisto is that guy.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, overall, Kalisto has been fantastic since he debuted on Raw. Sin Cara is Sin Cara, so I think overall, like that's probably a good call. They should definitely be up there. Considering the Usos are going to be out of tag team contention for at least the next 6 months. If you read the news, Usos are out. Jimmy, right? Or Jay?
Jay.
Damn it. Jay Uso.
I thought it was Jimmy.
No, Jay's the injured one.
I wrote it down. Let me scroll down.
No, it's
Which one's broken?
It's Jay. Jay Uso. Jay Uso is out with a shoulder injury. He'll be out for the next 6 months. Had surgery today. So because of that, you don't really have a face team right now. Cesaro and Kid are mostly heels. Primetime Players, I guess they're faces. I guess. New Day, obviously, I think the way they've been pushing them, they've been on the heels. So if they want that team that the fans are getting behind, that are face, I think Lucha Dragons definitely make a good contender. But for me, it's going to be New Day. New Day, I think, are finally going to turn that corner. We've seen some really cool just subtle work from them as they slowly turn heel, slowly turn against the crowd, just because the crowd has, ultimately turned against them. So to me, it's going to be a New Day. I don't know if you've seen the pay-per-view posters. I forget which upcoming pay-per-view. It's the next one.
Payback.
You've got Big E there, on the Payback poster. So, who knows? Pay-per-view posters don't necessarily always mean something, but for them to dedicate a poster to the New Day, I think is pretty surprising considering how low on the totem pole most of us would consider them at this point. But that's my prediction. My prediction is New Day will be holding the titles.
Who will be holding the titles?
A New Day.
That's better.
Cesaro Kid, we got some votes for them to continue to hold the titles in the live chat. Lucha Dragons, 2 votes for New Day, and that's it. U.S. champion is currently John Cena. Can he retain through SummerSlam and into September? Joe, who's your pick?
My pick actually is going to be Rusev. I don't think it's the end. I don't know if he's necessarily going to win his rematch coming up at Extreme Rules, but I mean there could be some shenanigans that might wear it out. But man, we got to use the tank again. We got to see the tank again, and Rusev with the title means tank. That's what it's come to mean to me.
Yeah,
so.
and SummerSlam is a perfect opportunity for that.
Oh yeah, I mean then you're just cruising the barrio with it, like boom.
Nick, your prediction for U.S. champion?
I'm also going with Rusev. It's hard for me to envision anybody else because I really don't see John Cena holding it through SummerSlam, and with Rusev in the way, I can't envision anybody else taking the belt from Cena as well. So Rusev seems like a safe pick to me.
Man, I went into this thinking that we would be all over the place for all of these, but I'm with you guys. Rusev, part of it is because there hasn't really been a firm contender. We've had these open challenges, which I really like. I like the U.S. Open challenges. I think that really adds a nice depth to the overall title race, but because it's a new guy every single week, we're not really seeing any consistent competitor standing there outside of Rusev. So, yeah, for me, I do see Cena holding on to the title for a while, but I could definitely see him dropping it right around SummerSlam, and Rusev is that guy to pick it up. Some names being thrown out in the live chat are actually kind of surprising. We've got one for Rusev, obviously, which is makes sense, but we've also got a vote by Robert Carmichael for Roman Reigns. Ishmael is saying Bray Wyatt. I like both of those names. I don't know if either fit.
Yeah, I don't know if you can apply John Cena to the promos Wyatt's been making. I've been trying hard to draw any kind of connection to somebody on the roster, and I haven't come up with anybody yet. But
yeah, I haven't either. Personally, the internet says it's Roman Reigns. That's the only thing I've read. So, but yeah, I mean, overall, Cena will probably hold on to the title for a while, unless they just drop it straight to Rusev at Extreme Rules. That's also a possibility. I mean, this is a Russian chain match.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he could just lump in with all those Russian scammers, and he could be a Russian chainmail match.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, chainmail. Anybody remember those?
I do.
We're old.
Yeah. Oh man. Intercontinental Championship. Current champion is Daniel Bryan. Joe, who's your pick?
Well, after the lead up to WrestleMania and some of the action at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship, I'm going to speculate that it's going to be Dolph Ziggler. Him and Daniel Bryan have had quite a few barbs, and they both did fantastically in the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. I could see these two having a feud not necessarily heel face, more like face, where it's more about just one-upsmanship and like who's really better.
And headbutts.
And headbutts. Which is hilarious when you think about how the concussion Ziggler's had, or how serious the concussion Ziggler was. Let's have him do some headbutts.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's daring a concussion to come along because he's been headbutting people in every match he's had.
Well, it's because he's pimp.
Yeah. Nick, who's your pick?
I think Sheamus is a lock for this. Because, one, you can't have him come back with that freaking mohawk and not have some kind of payoff. And two, he's just been destroying Ziggler and Daniel Bryan and anybody else that touches them.
Neville.
Yeah, Neville too. I've got to imagine that they're planning a at least somewhat lengthy reign as IC champ.
Yeah, I think, this is being talked about in the live chat. The Blue is saying the IC title could be anywhere, just because of how many people they're moving in and out of that division. So you still have pretty much everyone that was there for WrestleMania. And yeah, it could be Dolph. It could be Sheamus. You've got Neville that is competing in that area, as well. So, what's your guys' thoughts about Fandango? Any chance that WWE will really push this face turn that we got this week on Raw to put him back in that title race?
Only if they're bringing the Union Jacks back. I don't foresee it. I think it was purely for the UK crowd's entertainment.
It's hard to say because I'm more in line with Joe. That really just seemed like a ploy to get a big crowd pop. But why would you have Fandango essentially turn face in albeit the shittiest manner possible? Yeah, I've said it before about Lucha Underground. I'll say it here. I don't like the idea that people get face pops for being dicks to their girlfriends and dumping them. I don't know.
Well, was she?
But
his
what if
girlfriend?
what if she's a hoskie?
Yeah, I thought she was just his dancing partner.
I don't know what you do with your dancing partners, but I've never and make out.
Well,
I fuck them.
He's what is that? Salsa? I don't know. It's romantic dancing. Stuff happens. He's in the moment.
I don't think salsa works where you just make out with every partner you ever have.
You should dance some salsa, my friend.
Clearly, I've just had the most prudish partners.
I don't think you can dance, Nick. I think that's the problem there.
All right, so I do like both of those names as far as Dolph Ziggler and Sheamus go, but I'm gonna have to go with Daniel Bryan. I mean, there are some rumors whirling the internet right now, and that is the fact that Daniel Bryan is injured again, or still injured, or whatever. But could it be stemming from his previous problems? Could it be something new? I don't know. The internet saw that he wasn't on Raw as far as in a wrestling capacity, and now we're saying he's injured. So who knows? But I'm going to go with the idea that he's not injured. But Daniel Bryan, for him to not have, for him to lose the title in 3 months after WrestleMania, I think would be a major mistake by WWE. Just because you have finally given the fans a champion that they can really back in a guy like Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is getting matches against guys like Dolph Ziggler, and I think overall there's a lot of good scenarios here, so he needs to keep the title. That's my pick.
Okay.
And I'm just scrolling through. Live chat is saying Daniel Bryan will retain. Neville get bumped up to be your IC champion. We've got a pick for Sheamus. Another pick for Daniel Bryan. Okay.
Can't be Stardust because he's feuding with Stephen Amell.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and also, you do have Dean Ambrose. You do have Luke Harper in that general area. So.
Well, Ambrose and Harper are focusing on each other, aren't they?
Yeah. But that's now.
Yeah.
Right. We got time,
Yeah. So, just in case you skipped ahead, again, what we're doing is we are predicting who will be holding the WWE Championships on September 1st. So we're doing our predictions now. We're going to look back on September 1st, which is FTW 282, to see how far off we were. We're also going to be covering NXT, TNA, and Lucha Underground, so stay tuned for that. But right now, WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the current champion is Seth Rollins. Joe, who do you predict will be holding the title on September 1st?
I'm going to say it's Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar's going to do it because I'm not thinking he's going to hold it much longer after that. I think we're going to have other guys who are going to step up and challenge him and probably beat him. But we have a great storyline with Seth Rollins to work on. And with Brock being quote-unquote suspended, it gives us time to slow burn that. And then when he eventually comes back at one of the 4 major pay-per-views, he will win the championship.
Yeah, you would have to assume that Brock is going to be at SummerSlam. And, while it's hard to tell what direction they're actually going with this storyline, whether or not Seth Rollins is, grading on the Authority, or if he's, still in line with the Authority. There's a lot of ups and downs with the Authority and Seth Rollins' relationship. So it's hard to tell where they go, but I could easily see them getting revenge on Seth Rollins for some reason, like they did with Randy Orton when he crossed them. Bring back Brock Lesnar to take out Seth Rollins. So I could easily see that, Joe. I think you might be on the right track. Nick, who's your pick?
I think Roman Reigns is gonna take the belt off Seth Rollins sometime after this program with Randy Orton ends, hopefully after Extreme Rules. And I'm with you guys. I think Lesnar will be back at SummerSlam, and I think Reigns is going to retain against Lesnar. Somewhere in there, they have to build Reigns up in a way that people can finally start accepting him, can finally start recognizing the work he's putting into this, and actually accept that he is a champion worthy of that belt.
Yeah, and I think him constantly facing Big Show is the right way to do it.
Yeah.
It worked for Brock Lesnar.
I don't know who has such a hard-on for that feud backstage, but that needs to stop.
Hey, Garvin, who loves big dudes?
Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Jr.
Yes.
Quite.
Yep.
So, I like the name Brock Lesnar, but I'm with you, Nick. I really like the name Roman Reigns. I think the way they kind of let us down easy at WrestleMania, just kind of delaying that win for Roman Reigns for a little bit longer so that they could really develop that story, I think was a great move. And I think SummerSlam is your perfect opportunity to put Roman Reigns back in that mix, especially if, say, Brock Lesnar gets involved, a month earlier or at the show or whatever. So, just because the rematch of Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, I think, would be really compelling. Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins, not as much. I mean, I'm going to like the match no matter what, I think, just because it has Seth Rollins in it, just because it's Brock Lesnar. But as far as the storytelling goes, I think Brock versus Roman Reigns, to see if Brock can really finish off Roman Reigns, maybe have Roman, really bounce back like we saw him start at WrestleMania. I think that would be a really good story. So from WWE standpoint, that would be the way to go. From the IWC standpoint, I don't think they would ever be okay with Roman Reigns being champion, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and you've also got to consider that Rollins still has yet to get his comeuppance for breaking up the Shield. Ambrose tried to give it to him, but that went nowhere. That storyline just fizzled.
Yeah.
Reigns hasn't had a serious shot at Rollins yet, and this would be the perfect opportunity to do that. Yeah, with Brock Lesnar, you got a little bit of a reason for him to go after Rollins, aside from I want my title back.
Oh, sure.
And that's Rollins has curb stomped him again and again with really no repercussions. But yeah, as far as a really good storyline reason, Reigns getting payback for what happened with the Shield, for that chair shot that broke up the Shield, and also just the thumb in the eye to the Authority. I think that's a really compelling reason to have Reigns take the belt and hold it.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have a good story no matter what direction you go, whether it's Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar. I think both stories would be good, but I think Roman Reigns would be a bit more believable in that sense. From the live chat, we've got actually a lot of votes for Seth Rollins retaining. When is Money in the Bank?
June or July?
June, near the end of June.
Yeah.
Okay, because Robert is saying in the live chat that he could see Dean Ambrose winning Money in the Bank and then cashing in on Seth Rollins at SummerSlam or thereabouts, in between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. So yeah, that is an interesting dynamic. I don't know if I see Dean Ambrose winning that, but that is an interesting dynamic to see, because you do have that possibility of whoever wins Money in the Bank could cash in, right before September 1st and win. And I'd be okay with that. Because it definitely would kind of level the playing field. So like no one would have the obvious advantage. Seth Rollins will be gunning for the title. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar would all be gunning for the title. I think that would be a really cool title race, actually. And then another vote. This one is for Rusev. Maybe Rusev gets pushed up from the U.S. Championship title race after Extreme Rules and makes his way there.
Man, you crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, but
Rusev versus Lesnar would be an amazing match. But
yes,
is that a Russian joke? You crazy?
No.
Boo.
All right, so we talked about
that's funny.
We talked about all WWE championships. Real quick, yes or no, should WWE bring in another title? It's something that's talked about all the time. By you in the Facebook group, Twitter, whatever. You guys are always talking about bringing another WWE title in. So what do you guys think?
No way. We don't need another one. Why do we need another one? We don't give the appropriate amount of TV time to the ones we already have.
Yeah, with the amount of TV time that WWE has at their disposal, you really ought to be able to fit at least one more title in, maybe even two. But Joe's absolutely right. They don't give the time and attention necessary to the ones they have. So bringing back the Cruiserweight title or the Hardcore title or the 6-man tag titles or the European title or whatever, the light heavyweight title, there's no reason for it.
The only title that I don't think is getting enough time is the Divas division. Like, it seems like everyone else is getting a lot of focus. The U.S. Championship for sure is. The WWE Championship for sure is. When Daniel Bryan was wrestling every week, that, the Intercontinental Championship was getting, its time to shine. So I think, for me at least, the only championship that's not being defended enough and is not being showcased enough is the Divas division.
I definitely agree with that.
So, yeah, I mean, if your choice
can't really say the same.
Really?
Yeah, the IC title has been somewhat scarce since Daniel Bryan took it. I mean, this week, Daniel Bryan didn't wrestle. He didn't even have the belt with him when he went to confront Kane.
But that was this week.
This week.
One out of 2 weeks. Or I'm sorry, 1 out of 3 weeks since WrestleMania.
2 weeks with the title around. I don't think that constitutes a rise. I don't think that constitutes a rise in the attention given. And the U.S. title, yeah, it's been defended. I haven't really been clear on whether the U.S. title has been defended in these open challenges or if it's okay.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, but the open challenge, it's the same way I view the tourneys that TNA is so fond of. It's kind of a cheap way to showcase that title race when really, yeah, it's on screen, but there's not a serious storyline being devoted to it.
All right. Let's jump into NXT. Women's Championship. Your current champion is Sasha Banks. Who do you foresee on September 1st will be your NXT Women's Champion? Joe.
I'm going to go with Becky Lynch. I think she's got a little bit of fight in her that we need to see. I've kind of given up on Bailey. I know I've said her a number of times in the past. Right now I'm just like, no, I can't do it anymore. You lost me, girl. You lost me. But Becky Lynch, I think she's got some fight. It's better than Blue Pants, even though just due to the theme, I would love to see her be champion. And she's talented too. But no, I right now, that's where I'm going to go.
Nick?
Since Joe has forsaken the hug life, I am going to take up that cause and predict that Bailey will be holding the belt at the end of SummerSlam. I imagine that after Bailey gets the belt, Becky Lynch will be the one to take it from her. But I think Bailey is going to have a decent program with Sasha to finally get the belt and finally get some retribution against Sasha. Like, it's a damn shame that we didn't get that when Charlotte was around and defending the title, but Sasha is just as good.
Yeah, I am not willing to give up on Bailey just yet. I mean, we're talking 4 months, almost 4.5 months away from today. If we're going to be calling up Charlotte, like Joe, you had suggested, Sasha Banks should be very close behind, because Sasha Banks has been fantastic. So if she does lose the title, I would definitely foresee Bailey being the one to take it. I'm with you, Nick. So for me, it's Bailey, just because they have been telling that story backstage with her and Emma. I think we're gonna see some good changes coming soon. And again, this is 4 months away, so potentially maybe 2 NXT takeovers if they do the once a month thing, which I think they've backtracked on. Then you've got 4, but yeah, overall, I'm seeing Bailey. Live chat, we've got some votes for Emma, vote for Bailey, and yeah, Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks, retaining. So it seems like everyone's pretty much, undecided. We're all saying different things. So that's pretty cool, but yeah. Okay. Tag team championship. Current champions are Blake and Murphy. Joe, what say you?
Do you have to really ask this? Cassidy and Enzo? Did you have to?
Yeah.
That was a hugely missed opportunity for, let me spell it out for you.
Well, Nick, that's what you're here for.
Cause you're SAWFT soft.
I will admit you do that much better than I do, Nick.
Yeah, Joe, I'm with you. Enzo and Cassidy, they have to be holding the title by that point. It's just a shame that it's taken this long to have them in real contention. So yeah, I'm with you. Live chat already is piping in. They want to see Enzo and Big Cass. Nick, you're not. Why? Who you got?
I think by the end of SummerSlam, it's going to be the Vaudevillains holding the belts. And there's a caveat to that. I do believe Enzo and Cass will take the belts from Blake and Murphy. I just don't believe they're going to be holding the belts for a lengthy period of time. I think the Vaudevillains have been getting something of a push lately. At least if house shows are any indication, they seem to be doing pretty well on those. And yeah, it's been a while since we've seen them in the limelight. So I think once Enzo and Cass take the belts, that they're going to be the ones to take it from them.
I'm shaking my head. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm shaking my head at you. The idea that they would put the titles on Enzo and Cass for a few months and then take it off. No, can't see that. I'm sorry. Vaudevillains are awesome. I'm with you, but no. If you're gonna put the titles on Enzo and Cass, they have to stay on there for a long time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Sami Zayn.
I was gonna say, Nick's defense, Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn, but Sami Zayn losing the title in the way he did, I told a good story. The Vaudevillains just coming
Enzo
in.
Cass can't.
No, losing the titles? No, there's no good story for Enzo and Cass that causes them to lose the titles. No good story.
I think it'd be soft right now. Soft.
Yep.
All right. So live chat. Live chat is talking about some new teams. Solomon Crow and Baron Corbin teaming up.
Possibly.
Finn Balor and Hideo Itami tag teaming up.
Nope, that's good. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, one or both is getting called up pretty soon. I'm feeling.
Yeah. Real quick, Prometheus 37 in the live chat is asking, do you think the soft gimmick would get over in an arena of 20,000 people?
It definitely has the potential more than, say, Adam Rose.
Yeah.
Because
really, I can't see a scenario where it doesn't.
Knowing how pretty much anyone from NXT gets over instantly as soon as they're brought up to the main roster, I can't imagine that this wouldn't. There's too many fans that go to the live events that are very well aware of NXT and are very aware of Enzo and Cass. So yeah, I say it gets over. Can it get over every single week without change? No. I think that's the downfall, is that we really haven't seen much new from them at all, really, since they had the first live special on the network. It's been
Big Cass developed a stutter. I mean, that's changed, right?
No, not really. So I think you have to be able to evolve, and that's something that we really haven't seen yet, outside of some new hair and beard styles by Enzo. So yeah, I think initially they will get over, but you have to be able to continue to progress your characters.
See, I think the fact that when they come out to the ring, they're already talking shit. Like, that's part of the entrance.
Oh yeah, but it's the same entrance.
But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Probably brings to you the 5-time WWE Tag Team Champions of the World. Yeah, no. So
okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, and they are adapting their entrances to their opponents in the ring. So
no, that's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, all right. I'll take it back. I'll take back what I said. But I'm still saying they're going to hold the titles on September 1st.
Bitch.
All right, NXT Championship. Your current champion is Kevin Owens. Joe, who you got?
I'm going with Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens is going to continue to run roughshod over NXT. Well, I mean, he's kind of slowed with the injury and all, but I think he's going to be doing some major destruction going forward. I can't see him losing this title yet. They're going to build him to be just a force to be reckoned with. And I think maybe shortly after SummerSlam, the next NXT show after that, that's when I think you'll see him drop the title, probably to Sami Zayn.
I think that change is going to happen before SummerSlam, because Zayn has already come back and he's already declared his intentions for the title.
So has Rhino. What's your point?
Rhino's going to be taken out tomorrow night.
I'm just thinking that it's going to be, because of the delay they've had with Owens' injury, it's setting the schedule back, and will actually put it right after SummerSlam.
I guess possibly. I'm not really clear on what his injury is. What is he out with?
Wasn't it I'm trying to remember what it was now. I know he actually did get an injury. What was it? A shoulder?
Nay is saying it was a knee related
Maybe
injury.
It was a knee.
Knee, it sounds familiar to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Prometheus 37 says the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to imagine that. And as I'm thinking about it, as you mentioned it, I want to say he's already been back training. So yeah, I don't know. 4 months seems like it should be enough time for Zayn to clear the obstacles. Balor's already been cleared out of the way. Itami, I think if he's going to be sticking around much longer, it's going to be focusing on Tyler Breeze. So I think Zayn's going to have ample opportunity to take the belt and get his revenge on Owens.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to go with Sami Zayn as well. I foresee him coming back in time. I mean, that's 4 months away. He's got to be healthy by that point. So yeah, I can definitely see Sami Zayn continuing his story with Kevin Owens, and yeah, taking the title back off of him. I think that's a good next chapter in that story, and hopefully, continues their ongoing feud. They should probably be bringing more people up into that division, especially, you got Hideo Itami, you got Finn Balor, depending on who gets called up next. You've got Prince Pretty. So I think there's opportunities there for more guys to be brought up into that, but definitely Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn heading into the summer and into September 1st. Yeah. I'm seeing that continue. From the live chat, we've got Owens, Hideo Itami, and that's it. Just those two picks. All right, so out of those three in NXT, what's the best title race right now for you guys?
I'm gonna have to actually say the women's championship. To me, it's had more action than anything. To me, it's more entertaining.
Yeah, I agree.
It's refreshing.
Yeah, I think that's my pick too. I mean, overall, with Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Charlotte, I think that's a good combination. You got Alexa Bliss in there as well. You've got Blue Pants. Overall, they're doing some great work both in the ring, storytelling. Overall, this is the division for me right now.
As awesome as it's been to see the caliber of quality, the caliber of wrestling that we've been seeing out of the NXT women's division, the most compelling storyline there for me is Emma versus Bayley, which isn't necessarily about the title, at least not yet. So for me, the best title race, in my opinion, is the NXT Championship. And it's just been Balor versus Owens, how good that's been. And the little interlude we had with Alex Riley. I mean, Alex Riley, of all people, he and Kevin Owens have been having a great feud. They had good in-ring stuff. The reason for Alex Riley coming back was great. And just their Twitter feud right now is entertaining as all hell. So that's the best one for me.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I mean, the live chat, is saying kind of like the opposite of what you and I said, Joe. But overall, while I do like the women's championship, the best, there is no bad division right now. I mean, there's so many great stories being told, both in the races towards the titles and who's holding the titles as well. So yeah, I think overall NXT is running on all cylinders, and that's a very good thing.
I can't give the NXT tag team division the nod until they bring back the mechanics, though. I miss those guys so much.
All right. Well, let's jump into some TNA talk. We're going to be doing predictions again for all titles. We've got the Knockouts, Tag Team Championships, X Division, and TNA World Heavyweight Champions. So if you're following along in the live chat, getting ready. Knockouts Championship, your current champion is Taryn Terrell. Joe, who do you see holding the title on September 1st?
Awesome Kong. Kong came back. Kong needs to be a wrecking machine. Taryn, much as I love you, sweetheart, you're prime for being torn apart. You're going to get broken by Kiki. She's going to just mutilate you.
For me, I think I've got to go with Taryn Terrell. I firmly believe Kong will be taking the belt from Taryn very soon. But 4 months is enough time, I think, to have Kong get a decent reign in, just destroy the division, anybody that steps up to oppose her, and then Taryn comes back and fulfills her destiny as Giant Slayer 2.0. I think that's how that's going to go down.
Yeah, man, this one is hard to pick because, like Joe, I'm really leaning towards Awesome Kong. The story though is Taryn Terrell being that giant killer, like you just said. Real quick live chat is saying, Jade, also known as Mia Yim, who's just debuting, this week in video, maybe next week. I think they did. I really don't know. I don't read spoilers, so I don't know when they're going to debut, but yeah, Mia Yim is now in TNA as Jade, which should be pretty cool. We got a vote for Kong, a vote for Gail Kim. Gail Kim is also an interesting name to have in this conversation, but yeah, overall, while, I mean, this is 4 months from now, I foresee Taryn Terrell being able to hold off Awesome Kong for a little while longer. I think they've got a title match coming up in the next couple of weeks, but Yeah, Awesome Kong is going to hold that title. Can she hold it through September 1st? Who knows? But that's where I'm
I know
leading.
she can.
Yeah, that's where I'm leading. I'm gonna go with Awesome Kong. Tag team championships. So currently they are vacant. This week we will find out who the new champions are. Potentially an 8-team tournament, with the final 4 going into, an Ultimate X match. So, and the winner will be the new tag team champions. I believe all 5 of those matches are going to take place this week on Impact. So we'll be talking about that on Fans Talk TNA, which comes out every Monday. If you don't know, now you know. But tag team champions, who do you got, Joe?
I honestly don't know. This may come from out of some of my ignorance recently with TNA, but I just don't have a good bead on their tag team division enough to make a strong, accurate description.
Yeah.
Or pick. I'm trying to think, who was it? One of the Wolves and DJZ, I guess, were teaming up.
No.
Did I thought I saw that.
Davey Richards and DJZ faced each other.
Yeah, they face each other.
Oh, I thought they teamed up, and I was like, hell yeah. Like, this is cool, because this is different.
That does sound cool, though. I agree.
Yeah. I don't know. Who else would still be there, even if they weren't getting a paycheck? Those not in the know apparently just came out. It came out today that there's some weird issue with TNA not paying people. But when you take so much time off, you're not going to have the money coming in order to pay certain things. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my, I'm going to go with nobody. I don't know.
Joe, you're not far off, man. If you didn't watch this week, then you really didn't know who was in the tag team division, because there really hasn't been a lot of consistency. I mean, you got the Hardys, maybe you've got DJZ and Jesse. Maybe you've got, I don't even know. I don't even know who else would be in that mix, just because it has been so inconsistent. But Nick, who do you see holding the tag team championships come September 1st?
I think it's going to be Magnus and a partner of his choosing, since he does have the Feast or Fire briefcase. I have been seeing a lot of supposition that Magnus will cash in on the winner of the tournament, like as soon as, or maybe the week after. I think they're going to I think Magnus is going to go for the long game here, just like Storm did when he cashed in on the Wolves. Not quite as long, because Storm held on to that thing for a while. But yeah, I just don't see any of the teams coming together right now, like Bram and EC3 or the Dirty Heels. I don't think they're going to come away with the belts. And I'm not even sure who would actually win the titles at this point. But yeah, I had to think that Magnus is going to win when he cashes in. And I think that's going to happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I definitely like that idea. Just thinking of who he would cash in to tell the best story. And the only thing I could think of is EC3 and Bram win the tournament, and then Magnus cashes it in on Bram, just to continue that little spat that they've got going on. I think that would be an awesome story. The only problem though is you've got EC3 involved. It'll be his first championship, and he would lose it in that fashion.
Yeah, I've been toying with the idea that it would be the BDC that he cashes in on. Like, I don't like this team of Loki and Kenny King, really, but they seem to be strong contenders in my mind. And of all the teams right now, barring Bram and EC3, because I think Bram is going to be feuding with Tyrus going forward, but out of all the other teams, MVP's faction is the one that Magnus has the most beef with, considering the way MVP came in, ruined things for Magnus, and I would imagine that they'd still have plenty of reason to have beef. So that seems like the most, if not likely, then entertaining storyline coming out of this.
Did I miss an announcement as far as the BDC being involved in the tournament?
You did. They have identified all 8 teams.
It is currently not on their website.
They did post it on Twitter.
Oh, okay. Let me hop over on Twitter then.
Yeah.
So who's the 8th team?
Tigre Uno and Jay Rios are a team.
Jay Rios. Who is Jay Rios? Is that S.A. Rios?
No. I think he's just somebody that Tigre Uno knows is being brought in for one shot because they're facing EC3 and Bram.
I'm just saying that would have been awesome if it was S.A. Rios.
All right. So Jay Rios, they have not released a full graphic of this, so I'm just looking at the Twitter feed. He's wearing a mask. It's almost as if he's like a bat. Does he have bat ears? Is that what you're seeing? I can't really tell. Yeah, I don't know. So, as far as all of these teams go, I can't really see any of them continue for much longer after this outside of, obviously BDC is going to stay together. The Hardys will stay together. Revolution, as long as Koya, does well enough. I think the Revolution will stay together. But yeah, the rest of these teams, well, okay, let me take that back. Bromans would stay together. But as far as champions go, I don't really see any of these being really strong contenders. So, we're talking 4.5 months from now, September 1st. To me, your champions are going to be the Wolves. That's who they have built, and that's who they have really put up there at that level consistently over the last year and a half. So I can't really see them moving another team into that level at this point. As a contender, yeah. As a challenger, for sure. But, the Wolves are it for me. So I do like the name Magnus and, whoever his partner ends up being. But for me, in 4 months, September 1st, it's going to be the Wolves.
Fair enough.
I'm just going through the live chat. We do have some votes for BDC. And I think that's it. Yeah, BDC. So, yeah, but really right now, TNA's big problem with the tag team championships is that there's no consistent teams that they've built. There's no, real trust that they'll push these guys consistently moving forward. X Division Championship. Rockstar Spud is your current champion. Who do you guys see, being champion on September 1st? Joe?
DJZ. I like the idea. I've always liked DJZ, even when he was breaking people's necks unintentionally. I think he's extremely talented. I've enjoyed just about every match I've seen him in. He's a guy that I think had an interesting character before, and I think the DJ thing is actually kind of interesting, at least for a gimmick. If you're going to stick with a cheesy gimmick, it works. And he's been X Division champion before, if I'm not mistaken. So, albeit it was short. I could be totally wrong off that. I have some recollection of him holding the title.
No, you're correct, sir.
Okay. Yeah. And I am no TNA historian. So, but no, I think he's definitely a great option for TNA.
Nick?
Yeah, I'm right in line with that. DJZ seems like the perfect guy to take the belt from Spud, especially since he's got the bromans backing him up. So, he just seems like the most likely candidate and the most compelling storyline moving forward.
I really don't have much to add to this because I have absolutely no idea who's even in the X Division. Because TNA, for whatever reason, is not giving these guys any time whatsoever. For the last since they've entered in Destination America, we've had 3 X Division matches, I think. So since January, 3 X Division matches on TV. I think, yeah. So
Davey Richards and DJZ are in there now.
Well, I'm sorry, title matches, X Division title matches.
Title matches,
and one was a cash in, and it was only like 10 seconds. So. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion, but I'm going to go with Mark Andrews. I'm going to go with a long shot, but we'll see.
Brett on Brett violence. I can appreciate that.
Yeah. TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Your current champion is the Cyborg, Kurt Angle. Joe.
Yeah.
Who's going to hold the title on September 1st?
We have so many options. Because you could look at Lashley. You could look at Aries. You could look at Magnus again. I don't think they're sliding in any of those directions. I think we're going to get what is his name? Because I didn't write this down because I've been still speculating on this. Bobby Roode. Because why not?
That's your pick is Bobby Roode?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure.
Did I just pull a Harrison?
I blanked out for a second, and I wasn't sure if that's what you're saying. Okay, Nick, your pick.
I was thinking Austin Aries because, he's got the briefcase. He could cash in at any time, and he's definitely able enough to hold the belt for an extended period of time. But Joe, you said Rude, and initially I've been thinking, no, he's in the tag team tourney right now, but I don't think that's really a consideration. The thing I was thinking is, as long as EY's around, Rude's not getting a title shot. EY's going to screw that up every time. But 4 months is a long time for that to get resolved somehow. So I'm going to predict one half of the Dirty Heels.
But you're not saying which half.
Nope.
Yeah, I definitely like the Rude name. But for me, it's, this is tough. I'm just looking at the pay-per-view schedule, and who knows what this will end up being. But, currently slated June 21st is Slammiversary. So you'll have a big event. Potentially, we could see Aries cash in before then or at that event. Aries could wait until Bound for Glory to cash in. But for me, I'm tired of seeing Aries hold the briefcase for that title shot. And I'm tired of him cashing in that title shot and not winning it. So, it's gotta be Aries. Aries has to be champion by September 1st. Will he hold it until then? I'm not sure, but I'll be satisfied as long as he's been champion at some point between now and September 1st. That'll be good enough for me, but if it was up to me, I would say Austin Aries is your champion, heading out of the summer. So, TNA, it's got 4 championships. I think we're all going to agree here, but TNA should not bring in another title, right?
I don't know. I'm thinking that the women's tag division match title would be fantastic. No titles. No more. I said no salt.
Yeah.
I don't know, because you got a number of mid-card guys that aren't really doing anything. You could stand to have a tertiary title. Not the TV title, because that has too much baggage. I don't know if they would bring back one of the older ones, like the Legends title or the Global title, I think it was.
Those along with the TV title are the same thing.
Yeah, but I mean the term TV title's got a lot of baggage with it. Like, it's got to be defended on TV, and they tried making it every week it's going to be defended on TV, but that lasted like all of a month, and then Hulk Hogan got bored with it and threw it away. I would not say no to them bringing back a real mid-card title, like one for a guy like Robbie E. or Samuel Shaw or Gunner. Somebody that just doesn't really fit all that well in the X division, but is at least deserving of consideration for a belt.
Yeah, well, not knowing who is in the X division or what that division even looks like, or if it even exists anymore, I gotta say no. Don't bring in another title unless you're getting rid of the X division, because you obviously do not care about it. So, yeah, I'm with you, Nick, as far as there's a lot of mid-card guys that are not being used, but what is the mid-card? It's so difficult to even gauge what that is, because a majority of your roster technically is the mid-card, and you've got a title that's not being used. So, yeah, no, I'm going to say no. All right, Lucha Underground. Something we don't really talk about a whole lot on the main show, just because we never really have enough time. But you can get Lucha Underground conversations each week, every Friday night. The wife and I sit down on Fans Talk Lucha. You can get that full archive at fanstalklucha.com, and that feed is available if you just want the fanstalklucha.com feed. It is available, or you can pull it down through the main show feed as well. But currently, Lucha Underground has 2 championships. The first we'll talk about is the new Trios Tag Team Championship. This is something that was debuted just a few weeks ago, And right now we are in the midst of a tournament to determine who will be the first Lucha Underground Trios Tag Team Champions. So, Joe.
Yeah.
Who's your pick?
This is going to be real easy. I don't have a pick. Because even though I listen to Fans Talk Lucha faithfully every week, I'm not familiar with the in-ring work because I have a hard time getting Lucha Underground in my area. That being said, I'm going to go with the team that's got Sexy Star on it. Because she is in the tournament, yes?
No, not anymore. She got eliminated in the first round.
Okay, so then, was she teaming with Aerostar?
Correct.
Damn it.
No, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. No, that is incorrect. She was teaming
Sexy
with
Star,
Superfly.
and Pentagon Jr.
Yes.
Okay, right. Then I'm gonna go with Aerostar's team.
They got eliminated.
Well, God,
is why. Because it was Aerostar, Drago,
oh, de mio.
And then who was their partner? Phoenix? I think it was Phoenix.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they have been eliminated as well. So far you're picking the right teams, Joe.
All right, I'm going to pull a Harrison and say Team Hell No.
Okay, I'm guessing you're talking the team of Ivory's, Son of Havoc, and Helico.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Team Hell No, the best trio since the 80s.
Okay, Nick, who's your pick?
I'm going to go with the family. Big Rick, Mac, and Killshot. They seem to have the most upside going into the next round in the title match. They're not just a cobbled together team like Sexy Star, Superfly, and Pentagon Jr. or like Tejano, Cage, and King Cuerno. They're an actual unit, so I can see them making it to the finals and taking it all the way.
Yeah, I don't object with that prediction. I think it's a very smart one. You know, overall, that team is the only one that gels together. I mean, they came in as a team. Big Rick brought his family of Mac and Killshot in. So yeah, overall, that's a smart move. But I'm gonna go with the team that I'm still incredibly excited about, and that is the team of Tejano, Cage, and King Cuerno, just because I cannot see anyone defeating them when they're on their A game. I mean, that team is just amazing. You've basically got an all-star well, I guess I can't really say that, but King Cuerno is one of my favorite guys. Cage is just phenomenal as long as he makes the right decisions. And Tejano, I mean, he's a pretty big name, pretty famous. Former AAA mega champion. So yeah, I think that's an excellent team. So it's going to be either one of those two for sure. All right. Your Lucha Underground Championship is currently held by Prince Puma. Joe, who you got?
I'm going with the man who is the face of Lucha Underground, Johnny Mundo. I think by then Johnny Mundo will actually make a bid for the title and get the job done because parkour. I know it's Lucha Underground, it's Lucha, which is more Latino, and I used a French word.
Parkour, bitch. Yeah, I'm right in line with you, Joe. I think it's going to be Johnny Mundo. I don't necessarily know whether he is going to be the one to take the belt away from Puma. Although I could definitely see that possibly in a number one contenders feud with El Patron. But yeah, I think Johnny Mundo is going to be holding the belt at some point, and I think he's going to be holding it for a while.
Yeah. If Johnny Mundo is holding the title, then I'm totally calling shenanigans that he spoiled us. Just saying. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the name Johnny Mundo. I think it fits, but that would probably involve Johnny Mundo turning on Prince Puma or vice versa. And I can't see either doing that. I mean, they've competed against each other. Maybe Cueto gets involved and forces them to show each other no mercy by having them in a match. But
I think Conan can turn Puma.
I don't know, because he's tried already and Puma disregards it.
Yeah. The factor would have to be Mundo being a serious enough threat to kind of give Conan a little extra fodder with which to make that turn possible.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to go with Alberto El Patron. I think if you're going to bring in a name like that and a guy like that, especially one who is held in really high regard in AAA and that general wrestling community. I think you can definitely put the title on him. 4 months from now is plenty of time to build that up. And actually, I forgot to count. What episode? I think we were on episode 22 this week. So they are only going to go to episode 39 in season 1, and there's no sign of when they'll start season 2. So they could start it right after, which would, continue this, and then we'll be continuing to see Lucha Underground through September 1st, but there might be a break in there somewhere. I don't know. But Alberto El Patron is my pick. Looking at the live chat, we've got quite a few votes for El Patron, Johnny Mundo as well, and also Pentagon Jr. And I definitely like the name Pentagon Jr. I think he should definitely be up there. And then we've got a few votes for Puma retaining, which is also pretty good.
About Pentagon Jr., I'm with you. That would be an exciting move. Do you think his master would be revealed before or after him winning the title?
Man, it's tough because, just knowing that they've got about 15 episodes left of season 1, your season 1 ender has to be pretty big, and I don't know if that is as important. I mean, I guess it depends on how the Sexy Star story goes, as far as that feud that they're starting. But yeah, I mean, maybe, and maybe it all ties into the mysterious woman. I forget what her name is now.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
It was finally said on TV, I think. But she was kidnapped, and you've got that whole backstory of what at least seems to me. I don't know if this is accurate or not, but it seems to me you've got like the traditional Aztec style and family history and whatnot versus Cueto and the money and all that stuff. So I think we're going to see more of that part of the story being brought in before Pentagon Jr., unless they're all tied together. Who knows? Yeah,
I'm imagining a scenario where Pentagon's master is Dragon Azteca's evil counterpart, like the yin to his yang. I don't know. It's all still pretty murky.
Yeah, no, that's a good thought. I mean, yeah, because it does seem like these are all like different Aztec fans. Yeah, I love the fact that Lucha Underground, it has like this whole backstory involved in like everything. This is good stuff. If you haven't watched Lucha Underground yet, and you can, definitely check it out. I'm hoping it's going to be available online soon, through legal means. So definitely, when it becomes available for you, check it out. Lucha Underground is very, very cool. It's good wrestling, good stories. Yeah. So, all right. On that note, that's our predictions. So we've basically predicted who will be champion. Every single champion in WWE, NXT, TNA, and Lucha Underground. So, we'll see. September 1st, we'll find out, who is right and who is wrong, and whether or not we're okay with how things have ended up. So, should be pretty cool. We'll see. Win, fail.
Women wrestlers aren't getting paid? Why do you do a job?
Here's your win.
You do any job,
and fail
is to fucking get paid!
Of the week. All right, so while we didn't really talk about anything that happened this week in particular, let's briefly talk about the best and worst that happened with Win Fail. Joe, what was your win of the week?
My win of the week is actually from the Landstorm authorized fan page. I really hope this came out of his mouth. If not, whoever it came out of was brilliant. ECW's barely legal pay-per-view event turned 18 years old. I guess it's finally legal. As stupid as that is my win of the week.
All right, Nick, your win of the week?
My win's going to Davey Richards versus DJZ. We finally got an X Division match, and it was a pretty darn good one. So more of those, please, and please introduce a new finisher. As hard-hitting as a creeping death may be, Davey Richards needs something a little more, I think.
All right, my win of the week is going to go to two things. The first is Naomi on the mic. I thought once again her segment with Byron Saxon was very good. I thought she was that. I mean, the fact that she hasn't been given mic time really before this is just amazing. That she was just very quick, totally into the overall character. Naomi. Definitely has a bright future in the Divas division if they do things properly. So we'll see. But Naomi this week on the mic. Also, Neville versus Dolph on this week's Raw was fantastic. Live chat's talking about it. The 450 off the barrier was sweet. I've heard a few people complain about the fact that Neville is doing too much, like a 450 is someone's finisher. You know, that's a move that could finish a guy, but that was like in the middle of the match and it was on the outside. I don't know. It seems like the internet always finds something to complain about, and I can't figure out why are we even trying to complain about Neville. Neville, we're getting dream matches here. These are matches that we've wanted for months, and now we're getting Dolph versus Neville. We get Seth Rollins versus Neville. Hell, we got Curtis Axel versus Neville. That's a dream match, man.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if that was the extent of what Neville can do, and he's blowing his load in the middle of the match, but he's one of those guys that has a lot of weapons in his arsenal. And yeah, if he can just throw one out there, he's got several dozen more. So it's not like he's peaking too soon. It's fine.
Yeah, you guys that are complaining are awful. As Nay says, wrestling fans are the worst.
Indeed.
Okay. So from the live chat, we've got CZW's best of the best 14. Ishmael had 3 tweets that showed up on Impact Wrestling. So Impact Wrestling had their first live tweet episode on Destination America. Overall, quite a few of you guys have reached out to let us know that you had tweets up there. I recognized a lot of the names that were there. So definitely cool to see. Neville versus Ziggler got a win. And let's go into fails. What were your fails of the week, Joe?
My fail is something that I really wanted to see on TV. And my complaint is that it was not televised. And that was Wade Barrett's retirement announcement. He came out at, I believe it was Raw. Maybe I'm wrong. That might have been the SmackDown tape, but I'm pretty sure it was Raw.
I think it was Raw too.
And gave this wonderful speech about how when his contract's up, he is going to retire from wrestling. And he said that the UK, the British wrestling fans, well, he couldn't get the job done by winning the WWE Championship. There is someone who can do that, and that the British Bulldog couldn't do, he couldn't do, et cetera, et cetera. And that is Adrian Neville. Brings out Neville, shakes his, and, does the big show to kind of pass the torch. And then when Neville's back is turned, bam, bullhammer. Beautiful setup. It's very a la Mark Henry, John Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which we were huge for. I'm still huge for that moment. Like, later on, I'm going to go back and watch that because that may be one of my favorite moments in wrestling. Like, it was just came out of a guy who I didn't expect it to come out of. And it was brilliant. And same thing with Barrett. It's more in line with Barrett since he's been a heel most of his career, if not, at least in the WWE. I don't think he ever was a face.
It's hard to tell. Yeah, I think most of it's been heel.
But when when a heel comes out and does that speech, you're like, oh, in front of the hometown crowd, I get it. Like, okay, respect. Yeah, okay. The one time he can kind of turn face, and then bam, that needed to be on TV. It really did. It would be a brilliant feud, and I hope they do it. It's just a bummer that it wasn't televised.
Yeah, right now, Blue is saying in the live chat it was at a house show. I'm seeing it from like 2 days ago as far as my Google search. So yeah, it was most likely on Sunday. So, but still, yeah, that would be a great story. But again, do you want to put Neville versus Wade Barrett? It didn't work out very well for Bo Dallas.
It's Bo Dallas.
Yeah.
Nick, your fail of the week?
I had one lined up, Big Show versus Reigns, make that stop. But Joe mentioning things not being televised, and that makes me think of Hideo Itami and the GTS. And they kind of showed it when they had this last NXT where they just followed Hideo Itami on his road to WrestleMania. And
Which was,
that was
beautiful.
Yeah. Initially, I was kind of annoyed that it was just footage from Access matches because we already knew how that was going to end. But when they showed Itami's journey through the whole WrestleMania experience, that was great. Watching him with his kids, watching his older son just mess with Breeze, that was pretty great. And just the respect he got from the entire locker room after the Battle Royal, that was nice to see. And they showed us how they talked about giving Itami the GTS back, which, so whatever. It's his move. It was his move to begin with, and he's doing it again. But I wish, and I'm hoping they allow him to do this now, but I wish the first time we saw that it was in a match on TV or on the network, excuse me. Like in the 2 out of 3 falls match with Breeze, that would have been a perfect time for him to do that. Or if he ever got a match for the title, if he was able to finally hit that move there, that'd have been great. But I mean, we talked about blowing loads when people were complaining about Neville hitting too many spots. That's a classic example of the WWE blowing their load in a spot where they really shouldn't have. So yeah, I think that was just short-sighted by the WWE.
Okay. Nay is responding to that and said that she would rather see him do the GTS when he wins a title on TV. And I'm kind of with that idea.
Yeah, just a bigger moment.
Yeah. So, Blue is suggesting maybe when he wins the NXT title, that's the move he uses. I think that would be a lot more impactful than, that, show that happened, before WrestleMania. But
yeah,
I do agree.
Show.
But I do agree that, they should be telling those stories on a bigger scale, not just, hiding it online, but actually, I don't know, just making it more readily available, really. All right. So my fail of the week is just going to go to the inconsistencies of title races. We're seeing it in WWE when it comes to, people who were just competing for the Intercontinental Championship, challenging John Cena for the U.S. Championship, including Wade Barrett. That bothers me. I want to see some consistency when it comes to like what title you're going after. Same thing can be said about TNA. You've got, EC3. You basically have EC3, Aries, Rude, and EY. Well, not EY, but, Rude and there was someone else. I can't recall. Oh, Spud. You've got 3 guys that all laid claim to the world title the week before, and you've got Spud, who is your X Division champion, all laying claim to a tag title shot. You guys have enough people on your roster to build these divisions. Just do that, make opportunities available for everyone on the roster, not just, move people around from division to division depending on which week it is. I think it's just lame. So that's my fail. All right. Final thoughts before we head off.
I had one since like around last week and now I forgot it. So nope.
Okay. Nick, anything?
No, I got nothing.
All right. You guys want to stick around and do some more talk for the FTW community?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do this.
All right, so stick around if you are a member of the FTW community, which you can do by going to fanstalkwrestling.com, clicking the big green button, and pledging a couple dollars our way a month. We definitely appreciate it. All that money is going towards back into the show, so paying for hosting and better equipment and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, if you wanna continue on this conversation, definitely join the FTW community, and you can hear it. You can hear the uncut version over there. So But that's it for this part of the conversation. So we're going to go ahead and say goodbye. Again, fanstalkwrestling.com for full archive and different ways to listen, different ways to show your support. And again, check out the patreon.com account, patreon.com/FTW podcast. That's how you join the FTW community. We give a lot of bonus content each and every week. Some good stuff. So, yeah, definitely join us on that side. And if you listen on iTunes or Stitcher or anything that lets you leave ratings and reviews for the podcast as well as specific episodes, definitely leave those ratings. Those ratings are what helps us get higher in the search engines, especially on iTunes. So yeah, definitely leave a rating and review. Let people know that this is where you come every week to talk wrestling. For Nick, Joe, everyone in the live chat, we will see you next Tuesday. See ya. Okay, so.
Damn it, I just remembered a fail. That Vato means boat? Come on. Damn.
All right, we're back for the rest of the uncut edition of the show. We are in the safe zone as we enter into the circle of trust that we call the FTW community. Is there anything you guys wanted to talk about that we didn't have time for or we didn't really get into for whatever reason on the show? Joe, anything?
Well, we never did discuss in depth, like, I guess you did mention it, but the Fandango explosion. If there's one guy who could probably rival the Queen in the UK, it's got to be Fandango.
Or Jeremy Clarkson.
Who?
Oh,
Jeremy Clarkson?
What?
Top Gear?
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I don't necessarily get it either, but I do. I want to see something good from Fandango. I've always liked the guy. I think Johnny Curtis is a good wrestler. He can do well on the mic. The Fandango gimmick, I don't want to say it's what is holding him back. I just think that they never did it properly. I think they could have done a lot better. Not, because it was like as soon as the whole song caught on because of the UK crowd after WrestleMania and when they did the UK tour, I mean that's what they gravitated to. They went towards that reaction instead of letting the guy wrestle and tell his story in the ring. It was more about just getting that song reaction, having that song